All right, welcome everyone. My name is Sheila Gold. I'm the Assistant Dean of Admissions for Tulane School of Professional Advancement, and I am thrilled that you all are here with us tonight. I know that this is at the end of what I'm assuming has been a long day for everybody, so we try to keep this presentation kind of tight. We keep it to about 20 minutes. There is the opportunity for you all to drop questions in the chat at the bottom. But don't feel like you need to. I will share my email with you all at the end of this webinar, and you can always email me. And so I am more than happy to get back to you on emails. And a lot of times people feel more comfortable like asking questions that way. So we're going to tell you a little bit about the school tonight. We're going to walk through a little bit about who we are, how to apply, some financial information, and then we'll let you get on to dinner and the rest of your evening. A little bit about the School of Professional Advancement. Tulane University is made up of 10 small schools, one of which is the School of Professional Advancement. We're actually the third oldest school at Tulane. We have been around for about 130 years, and we've always had the mission of providing a Tulane education to non-traditional students. And the way that that looks today is by offering online and flexible education to working adults. So that would be you all. And we're excited to share with you the graduate degrees that we offer and the certificates. We are located on the Uptown campus, the main campus of Tulane University. That's actually our building, that orange building, Richardson Hall, right here. We are up on the second floor. Those are all the SoPA offices. A lot of faculty and administration and advising are in those offices. Our graduate degrees on the whole are online courses, but we certainly love when students come to campus and visit with us. We are always available to meet with our students. We have a picture of our student lounge, and there's a big mural from our digital design and graphic design students, and the logo they came up with is "Where You Belong," and so they painted that. We have actually had cups made with that logo, and it's just sort of sums up the feeling that we try to create for our students when they're on campus, is that this is your educational experience. We love to get to know you, and you always belong in our offices. So please come by and say hi. One of the questions I get asked all the time is School of Professional Advancement. Like, is that a Tulane degree? People, don't always understand. And so that is why we put this slide in our deck. You absolutely are attending Tulane University. Your degree will look like the picture that you have right there in front of you. Tulane University, and the school that you attended is the School of Professional Advancement. We have a picture of a bachelor's degree. You all will be getting a master's degree, but your name will be up there. And I also like to show this picture to prospective students because I like you to get a visual of what you're working towards. This webinar puts you one step closer to having your name on that degree. So we're excited for that. And we love our graduation ceremonies where we get to give students their degrees. So we are very committed to helping students graduate once they start with us. All right, so a little bit of what we're going to go over in the next 20 minutes or so is we're going to talk about our programs and our faculty, our learning experience, and things that I think make Tulane SoPA a little bit unique, and that students tend to tell us that they appreciate. Our student support, how we support students towards graduation and being successful, and a little bit about our affordability and flexibility. And then we'll talk about our application process, and then we will wrap up. All right, so in front of you are 4 of our faculty members. Our faculty at the School of Professional Advancement are all what we call professors of practice. And what that means is that these folks actually do professionally what they're teaching. So you're not learning from people who have read about your programs and are teaching you about it. You are learning from people who are doing the work right now and can teach you best practices and sort of the information that employers are looking for students to have upon graduation so that you can get hired. So what do I mean by that? So for instance, in our Masters of Public Administration program, Ashley Hand is one of our faculty members. She is the director of strategic communications. So all of the messaging that comes out of the Kansas City government, Ashley is the director of that. So if there's, some sort of, God forbid, like a mass shooting or something, Ashley's the director of the messaging that would get out about that through the city offices. Or if something great happened, right? Like they just won a Super Bowl. So like that kind of messaging of like the parade and, all of that. So that is what Ashley does. So when she teaches her classes, she can tell her students how to navigate public affairs because she's in it every single day. Another person who teaches in our programs is Derek Bose. He is the former chief administrative officer for Southeast Louisiana, where we're located, for our flood protection authority. So when you're learning about how city and state and federal governments work with each other during, natural disasters, Derek does that all day long. He can tell you how to coordinate all of that work and bring in real life examples of what's happening right now. Tyra Mitchell is our assistant director of our kinesiology program. Tyra has her doctorate in physical therapy, and she's the former chief physical therapist at Ochsner Health, which is the big hospital system, one of the two big hospital systems here in Louisiana. So when Tyra teaches her classes and she's like, look, this is what you're going to have to know if you work in a big medical system, it's because she's done it. You're learning from experience. And finally, Ralph Russo is the program director of our cyber and IT programs. Ralph is a former NYPD police officer, and he helped the New York Police Department put together their cybersecurity unit after 9/11. So when you're learning about cyber and IT from Ralph, you're learning from one of the people who created that industry from the beginning. So when you have real life questions about like, oh, we're learning this lesson in class, like, how is that going to relate to my real life? Every single one of our professors can tell you how it's going to relate to your real life. So that is a little bit different than other universities where you don't necessarily learn from professionals who are in the field. Next slide, please. So here's a little quote. Amanda Fennell, she's in our IT program, and I think she sort of sums this up pretty well. As a cybersecurity leader, I feel it's vital to prepare our professionals, that would be you, through practical experience, which is why I incorporate my day job into my classes at night. So that exactly sums up. So, she is the chief information officer at Relativity, but she teaches for us on an adjunct basis. So she comes in and tells our students, like, look, this is the experience and the things that I do every day, and I'm giving you that knowledge so that when you graduate, you are prepared to be at the cutting edge of what employers are looking for. So that does help our students get jobs. All right. So we have two pathways to help students achieve their higher education goals. We have traditional master's degrees, and we're going to talk about those. But we also have graduate certificates, and graduate certificates are just a smaller number of courses that you can take in a very specific area that may give you knowledge about something, a very narrow area, and you can get a certificate in anywhere from 4 to 6 classes. Now, our certificates do stack into our master's degrees. And what that means is that if you get a certificate and you're like, that was great, I actually enjoyed my classes and I want to keep on going, a certificate is it's almost a third of a degree. So you can just take that certificate and you're a third of the way towards your master's degree. So a lot of our students will start off saying, I think I'm just going to get a certificate. It feels easier to achieve. And then they'll end up completing all the way through the master's degree. And it's easy to do. If you start off at a certificate and want to switch to the master's, it's very easy to do. So let's talk about what we offer. So our master's degrees, we offer in cybersecurity management, emergency management, homeland security studies, IT management, sports studies. We have a master's of liberal arts, which is a very broad degree where you can kind of pick and choose your own classes. our Masters of Public Administration. We have a Master's of Art in Teaching, which is for folks who want to be classroom teachers. And then we have a Master's of Education with 4 different focuses. We have an MED in Equity-Centered Education Leadership, an MED in Learning Experience Design, which is curriculum design, an MED in Special Education, and an MED in Teaching English Learners, which is English as a second language. So those are our master's degrees. Like I said, our graduate certificates, which are like this one piece of the puzzle, you can start with those, but for another 6 or 8 courses, you'll end up getting your entire master's degree. So like I said, you can get a certificate in 4 courses. It's less expensive, it's quicker to get. But if you want to keep going the rest of the way for another 6 to 8 courses, you'll end up getting a full master's. So something to think about, but 2 options. All right, so what are our graduate certificates? So we have certificates in all of the areas that we have masters. So I'm not going to read them all to you, but our big areas are emergency and security, IT, kinesiology, pre-K-12 education, and public administration. And under each of those, we offer certificates. So if you're interested in those, let me also tell you all, you don't have to be taking furious notes. You will be getting a copy of this webinar emailed to you tomorrow. So if you just want to like flip through it and review it, you'll get a copy of the recording. All right, next slide, please. So one of the things that we feel makes SoPA special, the School of Professional Advancement special, is that we have a little bit of a different learning experience for our students. Everybody's had some sort of exposure to online learning. Our master's degrees are all online, so you don't have to pick up and move to New Orleans. You don't have to leave your house. So we offer that flexibility to students who are working and need to kind of like be home and take their classes at their own pace. But it's not the typical kind of like flip through PowerPoints and then post a discussion board kind of experience. There is some of that, don't get me wrong, there is some of that, but you will have several classes during the course of a semester that are synchronous classes, meaning you'll have to show up in a meeting format very much like the one we're in right now, where you will have faculty do sort of a traditional lecture and you can get to have discussions with your classmates in small groups and breakout groups. So there is some interaction, but that's only a few times during the semester. But we also, we deliver our curriculum in a lot of different ways. So instead of maybe reading a chapter and writing a paper, you may be asked to do small group work. So you will get to interact with your classmates, get to know them, build relationships, which is important because these are your professional contacts as you move into the professional world. We also might have simulations of certain scenarios that you'll have to work through a program. So this slide, several of our faculty members have developed lessons where you actually create an avatar for yourself. You go into a simulation, work through a simulated problem and solve the problem, and that is your lesson for that unit. And so it's a very hands-on interactive way to interact with the curriculum. Another way that our faculty deliver curriculum is through podcasts. So they might do a podcast of a chapter or of a lesson, and instead of having to read that, you can listen to 15 minutes of the lesson on the way to work, 15 more minutes of it on the way back from work, another 20 minutes while you're cooking dinner or folding clothes. And it's a very different way to interact with the curriculum. Also, if you're an auditory learner, it's nice to be able to listen to some things. If you're a creative learner, it's nice to be able to get into these simulated situations and come up with creative ideas. So we also accommodate all learning styles. All right, so a little bit about student support and success. Another thing that I think differentiates SoPA from other schools is we are really committed to having our students be successful. We're not just committed to like getting you admitted and then we're hands off. We want to make sure that we see you on graduation day, getting that certificate that we showed you at the very beginning of this webinar. We want your name on that diploma and we want to be handing it to you. So we offer a lot of student support to our students. You have an academic advisor who is there to help you choose your classes, register for classes. If you need for some reason to take a medical withdrawal, or you need to understand, like, I want to go the fall and the spring semester, but I don't think I want to take classes this summer. How do I start back in the fall? They can help you sort of navigate all of that. You'll also have a faculty advisor, and your faculty advisor is someone that you can talk to. And remember, our faculty are all professors of practice. This is a person that you use almost as a mentor, and you can say to them, look, I'm getting my MPA, and I actually just took a grant writing class and I didn't realize how much I was going to love grant writing. How do I develop that into a career? And they can say, oh, this is how the grant writers and the organizations that I worked have done it. Or I have a really good friend who's been a grant writer for 20 years. Let me send an email and connect you all. I'm sure they'll take you out for a cup of coffee, that sort of thing. So you can use them to help you understand how, you may know that you really want public affairs, but then as you get through your curriculum, there might be an area that you really fall in love with. And that's true for any of our master's degrees. So use your faculty advisor to help you grow your interest in your area. We also have our own dedicated career advisor who is there to help our students, just our students. We don't share her with any other part of the university. She will help you with your resume, with your LinkedIn account. If you don't have LinkedIn, she'll help you get it set up. If you have it, she'll review it and tell you things that you can do to make it more attractive to employers. She also, a lot of companies that know about Tulane, if they have a job coming on the market, they will send that job posting to our career advisor before it even goes live on like Indeed or any of those places. And then she will send an email out to the student listserv. So our students oftentimes get a little bit of a head start on job postings, and they're able to get their application and resume in before sort of the crowds come, which is a nice option. Also, if you have an interview coming up and you want to practice a mock interview, she'll do that with you. She'll role play with you and sort of help you practice so that all the jitters are out before you go to your actual interview. All right. One of the ways we work with our adult students is we offer what's called credit for prior learning. So what this means is that many of our students come to us with a lot of experience from their life. So for instance, if you've been in the military or you've been a first responder and you're coming into our emergency and security program, you might have experience that far exceeds whatever you're going to learn in the classroom. And so oftentimes students will have a class or two that come up and they're like, I don't know why I have to take that class. I know all of this stuff. I've been doing it for years. If that is true, you can go to your advisor and they can do what's called a credit for prior learning assessment. And there's some things that you'll have to do. You may have to, write a short paper and, show like your resume and some other stuff. But if you can demonstrate that you know all the knowledge objectives that are on your syllabus, you can get credit for up to 2 classes in your master's degree program. So that not only saves you, over $7,000, but it also saves you two classes worth of time to get towards your goal. So it's a savings of both time and money. So definitely take advantage of that if that applies to you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about affordability. Every single person worries about, how am I going to afford, you're making an investment. A master's degree or even a graduate certificate is an investment. It's an investment in yourself, but it's still an investment. So Tulane's tuition for the fall, this coming fall, is $1,210 per credit hour, and all of our classes are 3 credit hours. So except for our MAT and teaching, which is at a totally different price point, which is $623 per credit hour. So most of our master's degrees are about 30 credit hours. So in total, our master's degrees are somewhere between $30,000 and $33,000 to get the whole degree. That does not make us the most expensive school on the planet, but it also doesn't make us the cheapest. So we do offer different groups of applicants 20% tuition discount. So if you fall into any of these groups, you will qualify for the tuition discount. If you're an active duty military member or a veteran, if you were PTK scholar, if you're an active member of PTK right now, if you are a current teacher, K through 12 instructional staff, if you work for Orleans Parish, if you're an adult over 60 years old, if you are a graduate of an HBCU or a minority serving institution, or if you are a Tulane alum, if you have a previous degree from Tulane, or if you're active or retired safety personnel, fire, police, EMT, if you fall into any of those categories, you would qualify for a 20% tuition discount. We also offer federal grants and loans. So I tell every student, fill out the FAFSA form, start the FAFSA form as soon as you start your application for admission. The FAFSA does take a little while to fill out. There's lots of different pieces to it, so don't save that for the very end. Once again, you can get up to 6 hours of credit for prior learning, which potentially could be a savings. And then we also offer a couple small scholarships. If you're transferring any credits towards your degree, we do offer a 1,500 transfer student scholarship. We spread that out over 3 semesters, so it'll be $500, $500, and $500, but you get the whole 1,500. Also, we offer for everybody an early enrollment scholarship of $500. So what that is we just deduct $500 off of your total amount due for your first semester. But that just means if you apply, get accepted, and register for classes by the early enrollment date, which we will go over in the next slide, you automatically get that money. So I try to encourage everybody to take advantage of that. There's no reason that you should have to pay that extra $500. You can get that deducted from your bottom line for your first semester. Also, for those of you who are interested in the MAT, if you are going to teach in Orleans Parish, you could qualify for our SEED scholarship. And that is, if you're interested in that, we can connect you with some of the SEED advisors. And that would pay the full tuition for your MAT. All right, next, please. All right, so our application, we feel like is pretty straightforward, but there are always questions. So if you have any of those questions, please do not feel shy about reaching out and emailing us. We love to help students. We feel like part of what makes SoPA a little bit different from other schools is that we create relationships with our students. We like to get to know our students, and that starts in the admissions process. So reach out, let us know your name, and let us help you. Our application is an online application. It lives on our website, sopa.tulane.edu. There's a big button at the top that says apply. You will click that and you will select the graduate application. We have an undergraduate and a graduate. You all are interested in graduate programs. To complete the application, you will need a picture of a government issued ID. That's super easy. Get your driver's license out or your passport, take a picture on your phone and just upload that image. We will need transcripts from any school that you've received college credit at either the undergraduate or graduate level. So we will need all of those transcripts. There will be a writing sample that is required of you, 2 short answer questions, and we will also require a resume. GREs, that we are a no test school, so we do not require the GRE, so that's usually very good news for people. We also do require a $50 application fee. However, as a thank you to everybody for coming here at the end of your day, at the end of your Thursday, that will automatically be waived. So when you submit your application, you should not be asked to pay your fee. If you've already submitted your application and paid your fee, please email me tomorrow and I can refund your fee. But don't be shy about that. It takes me 2 seconds on my end, and you shouldn't have to pay that fee if you already have. All right, so our deadlines, this is what you need to know. So we are next We have 3 starts a year: fall, spring, and summer. Our next start term is the summer term. The application is still open. The application deadline is May 1. So you still have a little bit of time to get your application in. And the early enrollment scholarship is if you register for classes by April 25th. So if any of you are admitted already but haven't registered for classes, do so before April 25th, and you'll get that $500 off your first semester. The next semester that we're taking applications for is our fall semester. That's an August 1 application deadline. But once again, you can submit your application now, get admitted now. And if you register for classes by June 1, you'll get that $500 off your first semester. And then if you're thinking all the way to January, for those of you who are planners and thinking I'm not starting until the spring, that application deadline is January 1, but you can go ahead and apply now. And if you register for classes by December 1, you'll get the scholarship. So these are important deadlines to keep in mind. All right, so that is our webinar. My contact information is in front of you, sgold@tulane.edu. There is a phone number. Don't ever call. I'm never at my phone. I'm always like somewhere else, but I'm always in front of my computer, so I answer emails very quickly. So if you have any questions, please email me. You will be receiving a thank you email from me tomorrow with a copy of the recording of this webinar. Feel free to share it with somebody who wanted to attend but couldn't come tonight. Or if you have anything that you need to refresh your memory about, you can rewatch it. Or if you have specific questions, just go ahead and reach out to me. It would be my pleasure. I don't see any questions in the chat. Well, there was one, but it was already answered. So with that said, if there aren't any questions, I want to thank everybody for being with us tonight. And I look forward to seeing an application from every single one of you. I'll keep my eye out for it. And, soon after that, you'll be receiving one of the diplomas that we saw at the beginning of this webinar. So thank you, everybody. Wait, is there a chat? Is there a question in the chat? Oh, just a thank you. Well, thank you all very much too. I hope you all have a really great night, and I look forward to welcoming you as a student at Tulane very soon. Thanks, everyone.